I call Claire Curran.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I'd just like to say congratulations to you, warmest congratulations to you, Mr. Chair, in your new position. Unfortunately, though, it is with deep disappointment that I rise to speak for the first time in the 51st Parliament on this particular bill, which is probably one of the worst bills that we've seen put forward to us by this government. This mirrors the not only the 1991 Employment Contracts Act, and speaking to the commencement and the title of this bill, this mirrors the 1991 Employment Contracts Act, but it also mirrors the 1996 Australian Howard Government introduced Act, the Workplace Relations Bill, which was when, unfortunately though, it wasn't, at that time, there was a confrontational approach by both governments to unions and to workplace rights. This bill would be more aptly named the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing Act, because ultimately that's what it represents. And ultimately, we know that it's not good employment law. And just referring to what my colleague Chris Hipkins said earlier tonight about a potential constitutional crisis emerging from the confusion around the title of this act, there was a very apt phrase used by the late Gough Whitlam at the time of the constitutional crisis in Australia, which was well, may we save, God save the Queen, but nothing will save the Governor-General. And it may be that we never hear those words in New Zealand, and they were not a great phrase to be used in Australia at that time, but unfortunately the legislation that is being put before the House tonight has the effect of bringing into question constitutional issues and striking to the very heart of the contract between employers and employees. It is a particular deep disappointment to hear that the minister who is shepherding this bill through the House as we speak is the minister who comes from a long lineage of workers in the rail industry and in the waterfront industry, where there was very hard fought conditions which are now being eroded, as we see in the House tonight. And unfortunately, when he first spoke in the House last week, he painted the opposition as irrational ranters like meerkats and cloth cap, and speaking as if we were cloth cap socialists. Unfortunately, it's the ideology that we're seeing through this bill is actually coming from that side of the House and not from this side of the House, because ultimately all we're wanting is and all of the workers that stand behind us want is a fair go. They use words like phrases like flexibility and small changes. They paint us, the opposition, as irrational, but it's the ideologues that is coming, and the ideology is coming from the other side. My colleague David Clark, who just got cut off, reading from the list of contracts that are going to run out, of collective agreements that are going to run out in the next couple of years, started to read an important list around the workers that are actually going to be affected, which basically cover the whole spectrum. These are not just workers as you would classify as being vulnerable workers. These are every worker in this country essentially is going to be impacted on as a result of this bill. And whether you work in in the health industry. And when you think about it at the moment, and so many of the workers in the health industry are very stressed, are not able to take breaks through the pressures that are being put on them, and I'll give as a good example of that is nurses at Dunedin Hospital. The effect of this bill, Mr Chair, is going to be.
I call the member Clayton Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It's a great honour to be able to stand up here.